Welcome to Twilight Garage. David Rogerson here. We're going to be delving into sex, drugs, rock and roll, and all things counterculture here on Twilight Garage each week. With my co-host, the great Casey Fields, we're going to be joined by a bevy of experts in each of our subjects. Currently, we're dealing with all things Manson, and we have the great Deb Silva as a regular expert and contributor. Thank you so much for your subscriptions and your support. We are here for you. We are doing this for free out of the love of the expression of this case and keeping things fair and fun.
The Twilight Garage podcast is brought to you by The Red Onion, the Bay Area's finest hamburgers, located at 11900 San Pablo Avenue in El Chorrito. Tell them Twilight Garage sent you.
Twilighters! Thank you again, y'all, for spending your very existence with us. The gratitude couldn't be greater on my end. Want to salute you all. Man, these subscriptions we've been getting are so appreciated. We know it takes a little bit of time, set up your little notifications, maybe crack us a like, but hey, keep in mind this thing is free, it's fun, and don't forget to get up in those comments, man. We don't have to get all ugly and say mean things to get you guys to say some fun shit. It's not a clickbait up in this bitch. No one's going to say anything mean. It's not fucking TLB radio.
We don't mind the hate, though. I like the hate, too.
Man, it's fun. We've been getting a little bit, and I've been enjoying it. And it's just the best form of flattery a guy like me can get. And want to thank you for joining us here, Big Case. KC Fields, the Big Case, as we call him here. Joining us, episode 4, Bobby Beausoleil. He has rushed to see his beautiful daughter's birth. What an incredible thing. People don't think about that. Why was he driving this shitbox Fiat?
Fresh out of the wound on his way to go see her.
Jesus Christ, he's got the murder weapon in the wheel well because he was disarmed by a Santa Barbara cop. He's got the bloody knife he just offed Gary Hinman with in the vehicle. Yet, we're feeling pretty casual and good about life because he's in an active psychotic state, let's remember, on his way to hopefully see his very, very first child.
In good old Richmond, California.
Dude, right here. And his dear lady, Gail, who I believe is pretty close to us here. Mm-hmm. And we're hoping that one day maybe speak with her. But anyhow, on his way up here and is apprehended never to ever walk the streets as a free man again.
That's it.
That was it until potentially this year. We'll see what happens if he gets a Leslie Van Houten kind of situation. He doesn't seem to have a lot of celebrity friends. Gaga covered one of his songs, though. One of House of Gaga will get involved.
Yeah,
close to Gaga.
I think she had a documentary going or something. And
really about Bob?
No. Oh. It's about her career. And her and her producers heard some of Bobby's music.
Oh.
And so we got to get that track. We got to get that in there.
Interesting.
So shout out to Bob, man, it's a big time gig.
That's a coup.
I mean, she was at the height of her career. And but yeah, we do know Bob had some real talent, right? Was always recording, always putting out new stuff.
Do you think about that in prison to be that industrious?
Yeah, DeWal, which is Tracy prison, is now closed down. But I guess that even at DeWal, they used to have little concerts, right? He'd take the stage, and there's some pictures out there of him wearing regular street clothes, right? Up playing, living the dream.
Well, yeah. It's very interesting. They were really well-tailored, flared, pants of the day. He's got these denim pants, throwing major moose knuckle out there. He had a belt buckle in the whole thing, and it was pretty styling, man. And he had a whole thing going on, kind of a mahogany rush type vibe. It was pretty interesting.
It wasn't that moose knuckle though, like in those mom jeans.
Oh,
Like
no.
It's thing we saw.
Well, no, there's the trans mother with the weird hat and the no genitals look.
Yeah.
Permeates the internet now.
Gotcha.
They're wearing the mom jeans, acid wash, I think they call that.
Yeah.
Like, that must take a lot of pride and time to go through all the thrift store bins to find the most hideous apparel. But hey, let me say it's a thing that's been done for many years by our compatriot there on the tubes. So we love you, and we're going to salute you with our merch tables, and I hope you can come out to the Freak Fest one day that we're going to throw the front porch tips. But
just reading the other day, it was talking about Bobby was up in San Quentin when Charlie got transferred from LA up there, when Charlie got back into the joint, and they moved Bobby to a different tier. They didn't want him to be in contact with Manson. And shortly thereafter, they moved Bobby out of there, transferred him, and then Manson got transferred over to Folsom. But my understanding, some of you might be able to help us in the comments with this. We'd like to know more. But Bobby got connected at some point with the Aryan Brotherhood, which was helping to protect him. And I think that Charlie at some point procured their help as well. He needed some protection.
Yeah, that's my understanding. The brand, as they're known in prison, hold a lot of sway and authority and are able to violently enforce their edicts. So if somebody's under their protection, it's a very worthwhile investment if you're having some sort of issues in the California penal system. And there's so many politics that in other places it doesn't make any sense. People will say things like, oh, these men are racist, and oh, these are horrible anti-black sentiments. And what's really happening in the California penal system is each race is segregated, and it's very, very much enforced. And there's a lot of reason for that. And if that code is violated, then you're on the line and you're going to have a lot of problems. So for Bobby to reach out to the brand makes a lot of sense.
What was it, Thompson at that time that was running things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of podcasts now. Make of it what you will. He said some less than flattering things about Charlie. You know, that like it didn't surprise him to find out that the race war theory was incorrect because he'd seen him enjoying the sexual company of black men in the shower. Remember all that stuff?
Yeah.
I hear the craziest things like that, and that's the nice thing. I don't like to lean on my connection with Lynn in any way, shape, or form, but I'll hear stuff like that, and I'll just be joking around, and she'll say, "What, David?" And I'll be like, "Oh, you hadn't heard that? You know, from Thompson?" And she's like, "It's just such beyond the realms of reason, a lot of the things that are said."
So he was projecting his own shit on George?
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, on Charlie.
No, but I mean, Charlie was projecting his own shit on our boy. That's a dirty move, man.
Woo, don't drop the soap, lady.
Yeah.
But so we've got Bobby involved in a great deal of music. It's really hard for me. I don't know if you got any more success. Maybe you can elucidate this for me. What is going on with this musical bibliography? It's just really hard to track. There's so many different projects, different names, different sounds.
Mm-hmm.
The painting, to me, I hadn't seen that much of it, but it seemed was good.
That was a nice surprise.
But oh my God, the website, we just got that link out of the blue. Doesn't look like a new website, but how did we not know about that?
I see a lot of shitty paintings done shitty art that's put out there.
No,
That guy is
that
he's got real talent.
was what it is there's a luminescence to it. What he's using are there's these clear elements, and when he's using oil paint, I'm not very clear on a lot of that. I would love to talk to him about the technique and some of the materials he uses, but he gets a great depth and luminescence to the work. You can see it even on the crappy internet photos.
Man, at first I looked at it, I thought it was like computer generated.
Right.
You know, it was that clean.
It's just got depth and it's beautiful. And the subject matter is really good when he does representational pieces. They're really well thought out and put together very nicely. So I want to ask you, what do you understand about his music? Now, where did it start? Because he's done the Kenneth Anger.
Yeah, so he played in a bunch of smaller bands when he was young, right? When he got out of like juvie or the fire camp that he participated in,
Right,
in the forest.
right.
But then, yeah, he made his way up to San Francisco, and he had this band called the Orchestra, spelled a little bit differently, spelled with a K. Deb Silva's got a cool poster of when Bobby and his band performed at Cal Berkeley. She's got that hanging up in her house, an original.
Shout out to Deb Silva.
Yeah.
We love you so much, sister. Thinking about you every day in our hearts and prayers. Wow. Really?
Yeah, so he was a part of a couple of pretty well-known bands up there. I think that he did some recording with Love.
Yeah.
The band Love, yeah.
Albert Lee, they're most famous for the song that really doesn't reflect the rest of their output. Alone Again, and there's a wonderful cover of it. I was just listening to it earlier, done by the band Calexico. You can find either one quite readily on YouTube, but I've got a really nice vinyl version of that record. And boy, there was something going on with Albert Lee. Those people loved him a lot. And for him to bring Bobby on board, it was no joke. The band was no joke. Absolute original talent, rock and roll legend. I have no doubt in my heart that Bobby's trajectory was going to be good, solid rock and roll legend status. Not on the Rolling Stones, but a Stephen Stills, perhaps.
Yep.
Somebody in that echelon. James Brown,
who knows?
perhaps.
Maybe he would have cracked deeper into the movie world, even. We know that he was in Mondo Hollywood, that famous documentary. J. Sebring was also in that as well. He's credited in that as his nickname, Cupid. Then he was also in the Ramrodder.
We love saying that, right? I was just saying it earlier about something totally unrelated. Ramrodder. Do you think about Gypsy, dude, hanging out with him? Back at her hairiest?
Yeah.
And just, dude, she was like letting it all hang out and having a great time. Like, it's so, I don't know. I like the latest thing. What was that? Making Manson on Peacock. Seeing her let herself off the hook a little bit and acknowledge the good times that she did have. Because think about her bouncing around, as we were talking about, and it was episode 1 where we talked about them having the TP, showing up at the ranch, the whole thing, and then there's Leslie tagging along, Little Miss Adorable Cakes.
Yep. Bobby's girl.
Dude, I'm saying the man was having some times. And so it's cool to see Gypsy, but you think about her, be real effervescent at her peak. And there's a real blossom happening. And
both very talented people, her
absolutely.
and Bobby.
I mean, Charity Shane, that is such a good jam. I crank it regularly.
Every time I go to, say Ramrodder, I pause for a sec because I always think about the Lebowski. The Lebowski log jammer.
Log jammer. Exactly the same shit.
I need you to fix the cable.
It's so the Coen brothers and everyone has so many cultural references that lead back to Bobby. And it's just, for me, such a sad thing that had he not been wrapped up in the whole prosecution of Charles Manson, He'd have probably been free a long time ago. His whole murder conviction would have been a talking point. He probably could have like helped a lot of people and been in recovery and had a career. And
There's a lot of parallels with that movie. Jackie Treehorn, the porn producer, right? You have the Malibu Sheriff's Department.
Get the fuck out of Malibu, Lebowski.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the Eagles.
Yeah.
There's the whole shit.
Nihilists, dude.
Man, I couldn't help it, man. Nihilists were threatening to cut my dick off. So that's a good thing. I don't think things had escalated much to genital mutilation amongst the family members there at the ridge. The only sadistic act that was off the table apparently was genital mutilation because Charlie wanted those genitals. Those genitals were his to control, to commodify, to monetize, and to use for his own selfish purposes.
So, so remember Charlie and Bobby met towards the end of 67. In early 68, they formed this band.
Galaxy, right? Wasn't it?
Milky Way.
Milky Way, there you go. Woo!
Yep. And there's another guy, I can't
connection.
remember the name, but they had another guy that joined. They only played, I believe, one gig.
No.
They played a night at the Topanga Corral.
Right. I heard it was not terribly well received.
No, I think it's the wrong audience.
Right.
More of a cowboy, biker audience.
Whoa. Look at me go. I'm going to have to recover my... Did I get that excited? Woo! Woo!
Dude, you go bareback this episode.
Well, I'm just trying to promote the merch page. I think it's just shameless promoting of merch. Promoting the merch.
Wrap it up, bro.
Wrap it up. But I believe Lynn was there. I believe a few of the other ladies were there. And that's something I'd love to hear about is that night. You think about, them being excited and going and your friends are going to play and you're having some fun. And kind of a, for lack of a better term, like working man's kind of situation.
And I think Canned Heat was kind of like the house band there, which they were good friends with. Yeah.
God, dude, they were so amazing. I absolutely love me some Canned Heat. If you have not indulged in probably one of the greatest boogie songs ever penned, it's called The Fried Hockey Puck Boogie. Get yourself on.
I got to hear that.
Oh, man, this is my cut, dude. I'm going to give everybody some love. Blind Owl, everyone gets some love. Mo, Larry, the Mo, he gets some love. But I think he, of all the bands, could have definitely slid into that. Had these prosecutions not happened, I can't get into what the murders would have happened. But if you think about him, Steve Grogan, they would have been in these bands. They would have been playing with Canned Heat. They would have been in this whole boogie scene, touring the nation, doing different things, and been quite successful for themselves. I do believe. Like, there was some exceptional talent in that circle.
And I think the respect between Bobby and Charlie was mutual. I think Charlie really respected Bobby's talent, his popularity. He was like a magnet. People gravitated towards both of them.
And I think, again, that always gets twisted into this very lurid thing, like the whole situation with Baby Paul, where it's this, he used the handsome Cupid to recruit new sex traffic victims daily. The recruitment of the Manson family. One thing I do feel comfortable quoting Lynn on, emphatically, there was never any recruitment whatsoever. They didn't need anybody. They had too many goddamn people hanging around. And the thing was, Charlie's fucking magnetic. He's putting a show on for the guards in the fucking prison, bro. Like, that's forever. That's posterity. The world is going to think of you, how you act. He does the what? That's how we remember him. And then what is his takeaway? Hey man, how'd I do? To the prison guard, like, holy shit, those kind of people, you can never get enough of it, bro. It's, you just fucking want more of it. So then it's a natural thing they're going to find each other. The Bobbies, the Charlies.
Plus, anytime there are more women than guys, right?
Well, there's that energy enough. They were going to bring that energy. They were both the kind of guys who had stables, for lack of a better term. I mean, Bobby'd have 3-4 girls buzzing around him. Charlie, at that point, I think probably had between maybe like 6 and 8, because, like you said, it was 67.
Mm-hmm.
So then by 68, we're talking over a dozen. Then Bobby's like got a half dozen. So then you got 20 women hanging around, right?
Yeah.
Then they finally come up on the ranch because Susan styles them out. God bless Susan.
I'm actually surprised there weren't a lot more pregnancies.
Oh, sweet mother of God.
Yeah.
They were wearing rocking gym hats.
Yeah.
Oh, good night. Just all the good times. Linda Kasabian.
Bill Vance, the Grogan, Bruce Davis.
Dude, look at Bill Vance, goat boy. He was getting after it, dude.
Yeah.
And Kasabian was a willing, just that woman had a washing machine. I think she'd get after it. But I think about the people who have spiritual redemption, quality of character, beauty in their heart, and Bobby's top of the list. All of his coming of age beyond the most basic of a man's life. He had his liberty from his family, so he was his own man beyond his father. Okay. Then he had his sexual freedom. He was out there being a man, spreading the seed. Okay, that's another thing a man has to do as part of your coming of age. It's a small, truncated version of that, right? But for him in his time, he was taking it to the extreme, and it was great. And then next thing he does is he needs to prove himself in a manly act, right?
Yeah.
And he's thrust into the situation with Hinman. He acts as a man is supposed to act according to the code that he developed between himself and his closest man friend, who, as I was told, much like Dennis, much like the guy I really never liked a lot, and you've always kind of had a little bit of a defense for, our other producer friend, walked around with Charlie a lot.
Jacobson?
Yeah. And they were all really having earnest conversations. And Len has always said that there was this genuine bond between all of them. And to think of that.
The golden penetrators.
Well, of course. And that's why I didn't like those guys. I was like, fuck those dudes. And then Len was like, hey, man, no. They were very interested in each other as men and as philosophers. And Jacobson did bring things to the table. But Bobby was Bobby was no patsy. He was no pussy. He was no sideline player. He was no fucking bench warmer. He was nobody's bitch. He made his decisions. He did what he did. He acted in earnest. The night of the murder that he was involved in and convicted for, I don't think we'll ever really know what was up with that. It's interesting to think, had he not been nearly immediately arrested, would those other murders have occurred, even though these other motivations remained? Like, Charlie was still going to be, fuck you.
Yeah, so he grabs the bagpipes.
Right.
He takes Hinman's bagpipes. He goes back to Spawn Ranch. Charlie's gone. Charlie's up in Big Sur. He meets Stephanie Schramm.
Right.
And on his way back down Spawn Ranch, he sees Bobby at Spawn Ranch, and he's like, "What are you doing here?"
No, hold up. He goes, "What, Bobby? Are these bagpipes?" Sorry, I just can't get over bagpipes, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know the whereabouts of Gary Hinman's bagpipes that were taken the night of his murder by Bobby Beausoleil and potentially played by Charles Manson and others at the Spawn Ranch, and you know of their whereabouts, please contact us now on the Twilight Hotline.
I think they're actually included in the Barker Ranch raid report. I think they made their way out to Barker. Yeah.
Damn it! Can you imagine how annoying? You're like, what the fuck?
They're probably in Gurecki's garage somewhere.
Oh, dude. No, you'd have him on the website.
Yeah.
He'd be playing like ass numbers out of it. Like, is that Japanese guy on Instagram? I'll have to hook you guys up with him. He does these crazy fart stomps. He seems like a very serious, clean-cut guy, but he'll like fire things out of his butt or make duck noises. And there's quite a following.
When Stoner put out last week that the truck was missing from Ballarat, first thing I thought was, how the hell did Ben get that thing all the way back to Illinois?
He's such a cheap ass. He wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah,
and then he wouldn't be able to pay somebody to haul it out of there either.
But I'm glad to hear that they're just doing some restoration work on it. That it's still in the possession of the owners of Ballarat, and it'll be back out there
for
soon.
Future generations to enjoy. Yeah. Well, the other thing I guess he did do was try to hustle some folks out Death Valley Way, or at least near the ranch, right? Yeah. Indian Ranch.
Oh yeah,
I heard Ben Gerke was out at Indian Ranch.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
disturbing the locals, potentially posing as Barker family members. Like, Jesus Christ, enough with this shit. No wonder nobody trusts us. You try to say the world Charlie Manson or be sympathetic about anything, and everyone's like,
if it's not nailed down, Ben has got his 5 fingers on it.
I can't believe what an asshole you are. And it's all because fucking dudes like that. He took, Ben, put the fucking Barker Ranch sign in the fucking box and goddamn send it to me so we can show it. We're going to have Stoner take it back, because the irony of Stoner returning the Barker Ranch sign to Barker Ranch as fucking stolen by Ben Gurecki.
Ben, do me a favor, send that heart embroidery back to Lynn.
Just quit being a cocksucker.
Come on,
bro.
man.
Quit being a cocksucker, and we'll let you go. Because here's the thing. You're not going to talk to her. You soured the whole fucking deal. You were a prick. You fucking insulted Robert. You insulted everybody. You're a dick sucker until the day you fucking get that shit back and quit being an asshole. We're not with you.
And I'll take you to a good dinner at the old Cow Bar in Shoshone, my man.
And we'll hang out and have a great time, because I think the conversations I've had with you, bro, you're such an entertaining, intelligent, funny, kind of cool guy. But, man, some of the stuff you do, I don't know what gets into you. Like, to have like just a bad little 5-year-old.
Feisty motherfucker.
Well, no, I think you had like a twin that didn't quite develop. It's like that maybe the hand, maybe he had an arm coming out of his head and they fucking amputated it, but it's still there, like a prehensile arm, or the little bad part of him has to shoplift and be like really evil. Because I don't think he's a bad guy.
No.
But to steal from Lynette Fernie, like, well, what about Charlie? Stop right there. Nobody cares. You did something. Lynn was being generous out of her heart, and you stole from her. So enough about that, dude. Let's get back to Bobby, and I want to learn more about his music and some different appearances. If you guys
know what his band's name was called in jail, in prison. I don't know what it was known as.
But dude, that whole thing looks like one of the former members of Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. And I think that he played at some point with Clem. Clem was on stage. Yeah.
Dude, that was insane to see. We're hoping, Steve, if you're out there, we definitely want to check out your music. We don't want to blow your cover or be dicks. We don't have to do it with the show. But we're definitely interested in seeing you play. We know Stoner came out and saw you guys. And we'd like to kind of make some fun for you happen again, and support your gigs and not be dicks about it, or be gawkers or freaks, because we understand the talent that you have definitely earned and worked very hard to purvey, and you sharing it with the public is a really neat thing. And we're not here to beat you up or give you any shit. Just like Bobby. Hey, buddy, you've served your time. God willing, you're out. Let us all pray for that. find your God now, if you would. I'd like to offer some thoughts and prayers towards Bobby. Let's do that afterwards in a personal way, but I want to bookmark that because we do love Bobby. We do love God. We're all children of God. We're all here together, whoever your God may be. Let us acknowledge him now and thank him for this broadcast and for bringing us together to talk about
55
Bobby.
years is a long time to spend in jail, even for murder. And I know that he's had some health problems. I know he's out in Vacaville right now getting treated. And so, our prayers are with him that ultimately that he would be able to live out the rest of his years in enjoyment, healthy, and hopefully to make it out, man. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, because as horrible as the loss of Gary Hinman was, whether or not he was in the outlaw world doing outlaw shit, maybe shouldn't have been doing it. It really just comes back to victim's family. You just feel terrible. There's never going to be any dispensation or compensation that makes it right. No matter what your child was doing, there's no way for a parent to let go of it. Like, oh, my son was dealing with bad drugs, therefore he deserved to be murdered, right? They're never going to be okay with that. But the flip side of that is now that's all been mitigated in my mind. And now you have another family, which is that of Ivan Pooh, of Bobby's potential grandchildren, his daughter,
Zendaya.
Now, how old is she now? That makes her a couple years younger than me, about 56, maybe 55.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We hope if it resonates in your heart at all, Zendaya, we would love to have you occupy a chair here on set. It would mean a great deal to us. Anytime we're acknowledged in any way, shape, or form by survivors or family members of survivors, it means a great deal to us.
She seems really cool to me. I don't know her. I've seen pictures on Facebook. She just seems like a real, groovy chick,
Right.
Like fun, a lot of fun.
I think a lot of the children are neat. Like you look at Country Sue. I think Country Sue's had a whole bunch of fun. She's had a really great life. I'm really happy for her. And then you look at Star, right? Star just looks like she's just a really, really.
We're talking about Country Sue's daughter.
Yeah.
Now, yeah.
Star.
Yeah.
Star is to me someone that would obviously be someone I'd want to spend time with.
She's beautiful.
Well, it's just like you just see her character. It's not even that.
Yeah.
Just, hey, everybody's married up now. But just to spend the afternoon and bullshit with her and see what she has to say would really be so cool, man. Because you can just see it in their eyes, man. And then getting to know Elf over the years because we used to see him at the Trona pool.
David Barton.
Dude, he was like super good at can openers. He'd just come bouncing off that main diving board to wow and do the big can openers, splashes.
That's the best pool around, Trona pool.
It was crystal clear. It was white. There was all this tile. It was so bright. The chemicals weren't shitty. They just really kept it up. Kerr McGee was super proud of that facility. Cappy and his father, David Coyote, lived just up the street. So sometimes he'd wind up there. But, David and his brothers and sisters, they were a howl. I can't remember if we were hanging out with TJ's kids at all. I don't really have direct recollections of them. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. I'm not sure if they were there at that gig.
They might have been a little bit younger.
I think they were older. I'm not sure. No. You're right, huh? Because Handsome.
Yeah, she didn't.
I thought he had kids before Handsome, but maybe not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no, he did. You're right. He had Domaney and his other daughter,
right?
With Bo Rosenberg,
right?
Barbara Rosenberg. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, so you're right. They're your age, and then he had some younger kids with Handsome, Lori.
Yeah, Artisan. And I wonder if they came over to Burroughs or went to school at all, or over at Mesquite, or if they stayed over there at Trona High, or how things went for them. Because love to hear from them. If you're all out there, and again, if it touches your heart at all, we'd really love to hear from you. and get any kind of update, not to put you on blast or anything, but our spirit is with you. And it's just so nice to see people out there doing so well. But David Elf is quite a character.
One of the nicest ones that I've talked to was Claire Vay Watkins.
Oh, no way.
Just a sweetheart.
Did you meet her or just talk to her on the phone?
No, we talked on the phone. She's really sweet.
She seems real cool, man. She's quite an author.
Loves the desert, right?
Oh,
Writes extensively about the desert.
Yeah, I'd love to get an autographed copy of her first book because I hear it's a really nice account. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was getting to David Barton, and he's still around the Indian Wells Valley. You'll see him in and out, and he sometimes gets himself in trouble. He'll be locked up every now and again. It doesn't seem to affect him. He's just one of those guys, go to jail, come popping out, the same dude ever. We hung out quite a bit. One of the last times I was in Ridgecrest, and he's quite a character, dude. He's still handsome rascal, got the blue eyes, real curly hair. You know, he could be Hasidim, you know, the hair.
Oh, yeah.
He's got the locks, bro. It's crazy. But I'm really just, again, so proud of Ivan Pugh and all of his great success. And just what a wonderful gentleman he's been to me personally. And I think he was, well, just really open-hearted, nice things to say. You know, you could really step on your tongue and do some weird things. Whoa, I don't mean to be a freak or whatever. But he just puts you dead ass at ease, lets you know right up front, hey, I'm not a gatekeeper. I know who you are. And in my case, people had spoken well of me. And I was very fortunate, very fortunate. And I want to thank everyone who has been so kind to me and allowed me their entree. Of course, beginning with the great Stoner Van Houten, the original Spawn Ranch worker, put me onto the game, having faith in me, loving me, and not being a jealous, small-minded person, but someone who saw the love in my heart and turned me on to the great Bob Baldner. And then eventually that's where my friendship with Red began.
Shout out to Bob.
The greatest. And I'm just so grateful for those two. They're just the most wonderful people, and it really brought a lot of calm to my heart because they've allowed me to find myself and to be myself, and being around them is just so calming and reassuring and very natural and of my time. My family's all dead. I didn't have any connections with them. They were very harsh people, and I love them very much, but they didn't connect with me. It was very much the me generation. They were on the road. That's why I really felt so strongly with Diane Lake. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have a lot of harsh things to say to her. And I still hold out the olive branch and do hope that we're going to hear from her one day, and we can have a nice, sympathetic conversation with her, because, boy, I've been through a lot of the same things. Having people around you who are literal strangers care for you, have more concern for you, and exhibit more love for you than your own blood family. It's just an incredible gratitude you can develop. And then people wonder, why did Bobby Beausoleil do what he did in that house in Topanga that afternoon after witnessing murderous, bloodthirsty cult leader Charles Manson slash the ear of innocent, gay, Buddhist music teaching, record collecting Bobby Beausoleil, Mary Bruner Shelton, poor shit boxcar building, poor Gary, who dealt bad fucking dope and got his ass murdered by wannabe bikers, And you think about that, God damn, dude, there's a lot going on there.
We wish Bobby well, though, and this is not the end of the story.
No, not at all. And again, we fucking bounce around this thing and make some jokes and fuck around. And again, we thank everyone for bringing us into this whole thing, because through this, We've gotten to meet the Ivans. We've gotten to meet these just wonderful, wonderful people. And I hope one day that it's cool for these survivors to get together. I would love to see them
very cool.
break some bread. I've only heard, again, the kindest things ever said about Bobby by anyone. And then even you look at somebody like a Leslie Van Houten, who has absolutely zero benefit based on post-feminist bids for freedom to have anything nice to say about Bobby at all. And even she had nothing but nice things to say about Bobby. So
we want to thank you, Twilighters, for being with us for another great episode. Shout out to our amazing producer, Alex. I want to give a shout out for today to my boy. We're going to go with Iz Silver.
what?
Good old Izzy, man.
Our guy, he is quite a lively character on the internet. I haven't met him personally. We are friends on Facebook. I love looking at his insights, like what he's doing on the day. So you know him through the internet too?
Yes, we've never actually talked on the phone, but written back and forth. And at some point, I would love him to go on location for Twilight Garage, right, and film some stuff for us down there. We'd love if he can ever make it up here to the Bay.
Dude,
we'll take him out to the Red Onion, and we'll get him on the show. Yeah,
and I like to put it out there. I think we need to hook up with the original Spawn Ranch worker and get on down there to Spawn Ranch and have us some Munchbox and meet up with Izzy.
Razor Izzy.
Dude, I'm saying the Spawn Ranch crew are some lever men, and who knows? Maybe our inspiration for the merch page, our dear pal.
Yes.
Well, himself will even make it out.
Yes.
Because, hey, man, this is all in good fun and love. There's nothing but flattery in my heart for all the funny shit that's been said back and forth. And, you know, I'm so sorry, dude.
Good man.
No, I have to confess because I've been really selfish. The budget has been such that, dude, I don't know how to say this. I mean, we're partners. This is episode 17, and I'm going to fess up. The skinny filter, it stops right here. I'm sorry, bro. I couldn't get you the skinny filter, dude. Sorry. I'm really sorry. But soon, we're going to, after we sell some merch, hopefully we're going to, oh, shit. We got to line up the logo, bud. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to afford the wide angle skating filter. We love you so much, Twilighters. Yeah. Please tune into our shorts.
Yep.
And then here's the thing. I'll just give it up to my man, Michael Channels. I want to say, if you don't tune in to his channel,
Back Porch Tapes,
you're doing yourself a disservice because he'll occasionally pull some stuff up that's pretty educational.
I've gotten a lot out of it over the years.
Yeah.
I've watched hundreds of videos.
For sure. I mean, when he writes stuff like as a fiction, like he's working on his book, which I disappointingly found out from our friend Colby Welsh, because I'm a snitch.
It's his book.
It's his book. It's an unbound coloring book. It looks like a drunk fucking.
It's not for us. It's not for us at all.
Have you seen those fucking horrible illustrations? Like fucking choke on the dick. But I did love, dude, the Leslie letters, a lot of the stuff. I got a lot of good stuff from it. But when he reads from it, Charles Manson pulling these beautiful, innocent young girls into his murderous web through his manipulation. Like, hold up, dude. Like, isn't your whole world built on Charles Manson, who you went to prison to see a bunch of times, put money on his books, never shut the fuck up about it, but then you're going to shit on the dude with the whole helter-skelter narrative when it suits you and your unbound coloring book that you're playing off as a bug that we find out from Colby Walsh is nothing but a fucking...
I know, I was expecting a publication to come out that
it's
I could buy.
It's a jack rag. The dude's been jacking in a rag and calling it a book. His garage smells like fucking Bisquick. I
And
bet.
then put it together, Mike. Even if you just photocopy whatever book you have
Right,
and
dude.
publish it, get it into the people's hands.
Dude, the
man.
Lynette Fromme scrapbook, for an
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Stole a photo dead ass off my wall. My wedding ring is in the photograph. Titties and beer. You just never know what the internet's going to give you. But hey, Michael, dude, seriously, there's no hate in my heart. Love you, dude. Yeah, the Manson narrative aggravates me, so I have to kind of break the balls. But no, you're funny. It's cool. Like, it's all good. Because everything you say is such a just Charles Manson-esque reflection, right? Everything you say is you. And so that's why I'm just excited to be here, to be in his company, to be in all of our forebears in this subject, even though we're retiring motherfuckers left and right. So we love you, Twilighters. Smash on the subscribe. What the are you doing, man? Come on with it. Like, subscribe. Then we'll get out to Arizona. We'll be at Spawn Ranch. Hopefully we'll be able to support our dear friend Stoner. It'll be a second annual Barker Ranch run by then. That'll be 2026. In the meantime, support Stoner. If you can get out to Barker Ranch, he's doing it in March. Super cool thing. Love him. That'll be happening right now as you're watching this. Y'all stay safe out there. Sunscreen. I know there's going to be sexual antics. Those guys. Stoner does like, do you know what I mean? Like Stoner gets laid. Do you know that? Like, I don't know if you guys do that about Stoner Van Houten, but I don't know, man. Like, I'm a married guy, and like, I have a pretty healthy sex life, and I'm real proud of it. But, dude, mercy. Like, dude, he's got like, you know what I mean? Exploits. Like, I'm saying,
just leave it at that, bro.
dude, Stoner. Twilight says, thank you again. You know what gets me hotter than a double ARP discount? That's right. When you like and subscribe, babe. And that's the way it was on Twilight Garage. In the year our Lord, 2025.